Hello friends, and welcome to part 2 series of how to read your own chart. Now before I start explaining you the different house systems, I would like to explain you in brief, especially to my audience who are very beginners in astrology, that when you draw a chart, when you create a chart using a software, you never see there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as house number written on top. So I want to explain you this once again. This is always house number 1. The big square or a diamond shape you see in the middle, this is always house number 1 no matter what, as per the North Indian style of chart in Vedic astrology. So this is always house number 1. This is always 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So these are the complete house systems, 12 houses in the North Indian style of chart. Okay, even if you are following the South Indian style of chart, everything remains the same. Only difference is in a North Indian chart we have fixed house systems, whereas in South Indian chart they have a fixed zodiac systems. But other things all remain the same. The interpretation, the significance, everything remains the same. Always house number 1, always house number 2, always house number 3, always house number 4, always house number 5, always 6, always 7, always 8, always 9, always 10, always 11, always 12. So when you open the chart first time, especially for the beginners, you won't see there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 written. You will see something there as written ASC, that is ascendant, and it will be shown you, let's say, for example, 5. So 5 here means sign number 5, that is Leo. So when you were born at the place and time of birth, 5 was a rising sign and 5 happened to be your ascendant sign. It came into your first house. So your first house is Leo, then second will become 6 Virgo, third will become 7 Libra, fourth will become 8 Scorpio. So the order will remain the same. Okay, this is the order of the zodiac signs from Aries till Pisces. The order will always remain the same from where it starts. Let's say it starts from when you were born, it starts from ascendant, let's say 3. So now in this case 3 is Gemini. So when you were born, Gemini was a rising sign and your ascendant first house became Gemini sign. So second house will become Cancer, third house will become Leo, fourth house will become Virgo, fifth house will become Libra. So the chronological order will contain as is. So nothing will change there. All you have to make sure is don't get confused by the number, because you won't see number 1 or 2, number 3, number 4 in your house division system. When you open your chart, it will always show you the number of the zodiac sign. If it starts from 8, that means this is a Scorpio sign. Scorpio is 8. When you were born, Scorpio is rising. Your house number 1 got Scorpio as a rising sign in it. And then the second house will become 9, third will become 10, and fourth will become 11, fifth will become 12, sixth house will become 1, which is Aries, seventh house will become 2, which is Taurus, eighth house will become 3, which is Gemini, and so on. So it will continue the complete order. So now next I will be talking about the different houses and what does they signify. So let's talk about the first house. The first house in astrology, which is this, is the most important house, because this is the house what your soul attains when it reaches to its physical domain from the astral domain. This is the house of your body. This is the house of your identity, your approach towards life, your physical body, you, yourself. So it's a very important house, because the lord of this house, the planet which will rule this house, will become the commander-in-chief or the prime minister of your whole horoscope. And you need to understand, if your prime minister is strong, it will give you the very good results in every domain of life. If your prime minister is weak, it will cause problems to you. So that's why a lot of importance is given to your ascendant lord, the first house lord, and the sign what you see in here. If you see in here 5, that means you're born in Leo, and we'll talk about it. And also, if you have not seen my video about your ascendant sign, its importance, then I would encourage you to watch that also. So the first house is a very important house. Consider this is the house of your physical presence into this world. Your soul entered your body and this is how people will see you. Your physical characteristics will be developed, and your inherent characteristics of your nature, your attitude, your approach towards life, your physical elements, how do you see, how you appear, how you look, everything is governed from this house. That's ascendant house, the first house in astrology. So talking about the second house, this is the house of your wealth, of your earned money, of the house of gemstones, house of your bank balance. It's a very important house nowadays because everything is revolving around money. People want to know how would be my financial conditions would be in future or at present. So we have to see the strength of these house, the second house, which is for your money, for your wealth, your bank balances, your gems and jewelry, and it is also a house of your family and your values, the values you've attained from your families, from your childhood. And it's also a house of your speech. How would be your speech would be, how would you be able to communicate your message or deliver your message to the audience. And it also talks about your food habits. And we'll cover these as we start covering unlayering the concept of planets and unlayering other aspects of astrology. We'll talk about these houses more, but understand this from the basic concept that what each house means in astrology. So third house is about your efforts, your willpower, your determination, your purushakara, your discipline, and how much effort you apply to achieve something in your life. It's also a house of your social activity, your writing, your short distance travels, and anything about your siblings. So third house is about your efforts. Okay, it's a very important house because whatever you will achieve in life, depending on the strength of this house, how much of the self-effort, the free will, the power of purushakara, your discipline approach is being, and your willpower is coming from this house. Good house, everything good. Bad house, problems and obstacles. We'll talk about it. So fourth house is your house of properties. So properties means your home, your real estate properties, and your vehicles. So everything can be seen from fourth house. Your homeland, the place where you've been born, the country you've been born, is also being seen from fourth house. Your mother is also being seen from fourth house. Your home where you're living at present, it's also seen from the fourth house. So it's also very, very important house when it comes to your material gains of life, because the property, the vehicles, this is what all people want. And the strength of this house denotes that how much wealth you can accumulate in terms of your real estate property, and how many vehicles you will have, and what will be your relationship with your mother. So important house. Fifth house is, again, it's about your love, your passion, your entertainment of life. So fifth house denotes your romance, your love affairs, how compassionate you are. It talks about your children also. It talks about your gambling habits also, your speculation. It talks about your innovation also. It talks about your intuition also. It talks about your intelligence also, and ability to provide solution to others. It's a very important house because creativity is a soul or the source of all the inventions. So if you have a good creative mind, this is really going to help you in your life. And if you see many strong charts of strong personalities like Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos, you will see their fifth house is very, very strong, because through that imagination and the intuition, they have produced or been able to develop the bigger platforms or the biggest products in the world. So fifth house is also about your love affairs. It's not about your marriage, but your love affairs, your platonic love affairs, your unconditional love affairs, and your passion towards anything you follow in your life. So, and your creativity, as I said, and also house of your children. If we have to see your children, we see this house. Sixth house is about service, the job conditions. Service you're providing to others, and job is one of those services what we provide to others. So This house tells about your health also, your fitness goals. It talks about your debt, what kind of debt you will have, good debt or bad debts, your loans, what kind of loans you will have in your life, good loans, bad loans. It talks about your servants also and your pets also. Very important house in astrology, because if this house gets combined with any of the bad houses, it causes problem. But if the same house gets combined with good houses, it gives you very good benefits. It's very good for your income gains also. Okay, and we'll talk about that when I will talk about the different aspects of the planets and how we start reading the chart. So this is a very important house. Sixth house talks about your health and fitness, your loans, your debt, your servants, your pets, and also it talks about the service you will be providing to others and what will be the condition of those services. Okay. Seventh house, very important house. It talks about your marriage and your business entrepreneurship skills. So seventh house is about your legal contracts, about your marriage, about your spouse, about your business, about your partnerships, and also your daily interaction with people. It also talks about your interpersonal style, how people perceive you in terms of your interpersonal style, how you communicate or interact with them on the daily basis, how you manage your business dealings, and how you manage your partnerships, the legal partnerships you have. It could be a common law partnership with your girlfriends, or about your marital relationship with your spouse. Everything is seen from this house. So it's a very important house as far as the material gains are concerned of life. Fourth house, property. Seventh house, relationship, business, partnerships. Very important house. Eighth house is the house of occult science. This is an underground house. This house is not visible, and that's why we call it a house of underground activities also. For example, the criminal minds. For example, secrecy, privacy, intimacy, something which you do not want people to know about. Your privacy, house of your privacy, house of your secrecy, house of your occult science. Occult science is again, something which is not clearly visible in the public domain, but it exists. This is also in house of if you are a writer and you want to write a novel or book about suspense or thriller, this is the house which really helps you. If it especially gets combined with the third house, because third house is about your writing skills, and if 3 and 8 join together, your writing skills will be very, very meticulous, especially when it comes to the suspense and the thriller novels. This house is also a pain and suffering house. So all the pain, suffering, obstacles, they all come from this house. This house is literally transformation house. This house transforms you. Eighth house also talks about your inheritance and your in-laws. So eighth house talks about your unearned money. Money which comes through insurance, but it comes with a pain, because something has to break, then only insurance will pay you. It also gives you inherited money through inheritance. But inheritance only comes when somebody is gone, somebody has left the world. So this house is always a pain afflicting house, because any gain you get, the monetary gains, unearned money you gain, it also comes with a pain. Okay, and we already talked about astrology, very important. Eighth house, your knowledge about astrology, your knowledge about occult science, it all comes from the eighth house. Ninth house, very important house, because this talks about the expansion of life, the wisdom you have, your travel, your voyage, everything we see from this ninth house. This house is also a house of philosophy, scholarship, higher education. So if somebody wants to do a higher education, we see the situation or the health of this house. If this house is good and combined with the good houses, you will definitely pursue higher education. If not, then it will not give you good results. Ninth house is also about your religion, your learnings, how much is your ability to learn in life, how much you love to learn. This house tells and speaks about it. Your father. So fourth house is your mother, and ninth house is your father. If we have to see anything about your father, we can see your ninth house. Relationship with your father, ninth house. It's the house of your religion, how much you practice religion, how much you believe in religion, and your law and ethics, how law-abiding person you are, what kind of ethics you have, what kind of moral principles you have. Everything is ninth house. It is a house of higher learning, higher spiritual learning also. Very important house because this is called a house of dharma. Dharma means good conduct, good ethics of life. If this house is good, you're very good. As a person, you're very good. This is also a house of fortune. Good house means good fortune. And if it combines with like house number 4, that means fortune in property, in real estate. In 2, that means fortune in money matters. So the house combination tells us, what the fortune is coming in what field. So we'll talk about it when I speak about the house combination, but just understand this, ninth house is a fortune house, dharma house, good conduct house, very, very important house. 10th house is again material gains, a lot of material gains. Name, fame, career, status, everything this house gives you. Your management skills, your masculinity, your long-term goals, everything is seen from the 10th house. Everybody wants the name, fame, good career, good status, good reputation, good management skill, leadership skills. We see this house, 10th house. If this house is good, you will get whatever you deserve or you desire because of it will give you the career and the status of your choice. But if this house is bad, you will have problems in your career, in your status. Okay, so for material gains, house number 1, 4, 7 and 10, they are very, very important, especially in the time and era we are living. We all want material gains in life. So these 1, 4, 7 and 10, these 4 houses are all about material gains. Okay, why won't you have a good body, physique, a muscular body? Why won't you love to have a property and a good vehicles? Why won't you love to have a relationship with nice, beautiful man or woman? Why won't you have a career status and reputation where people, look at you and they follow you? We need all these 4 things. Am I right? Don't you? So that's why these 4 houses are very, very important. And I'll tell you how to read those houses. 11th house is about your social activities. And in today's day and time where we are living, this is one of the most important house because this is the house which fulfills all your desires. Any desire in your conscious mind and subconscious mind can be manifested only if this house is strong. 11th house, house of gains, expansion, improvements, enjoyment, fulfillment. You name it, everything is 11th house. Your social awareness, your social activities, how much people following you, how many people follow you, what is your social cycle looks like, what's your social circle look like, and how many wishes you can fulfill in your life is all seen from the 11th house. If this house combines with 10th house, name and fame. If this house combines with 4th house, property and vehicle. If this house combines with 6th house, good loans and victory over enemies and victory over bad health also. Right? So 11th house is wherever with any house the 11th house combines, it magnifies its results. Magnifies. 9/11 means huge gains in long distance travel or huge gain in learnings or huge gains in higher education or gains through law, religion or from father. Everything gets combined here. Okay, so we have to bake in all the factors in when we are talking about the house combination and how they match and what kind of results they will give you. 12th house is a house of exit. 1 is when your soul enter the body. 12th is when your soul leaves the body. It's a house of your moksha, your house of your life after death. And this house is also a house of healing, spirituality. If you want to pursue spirituality as your career or you want to be a spiritual guru, this house needs to be very, very strong. And I have seen many spiritual gurus, Buddhist monks, horoscopes where their 12th house is very strong. House of meditation, house of self-healing and helping and healing others also. It's a house of your afterlife karma. it's a house of your subconscious mind. It's a house of your asylum, your foreign settlement, and also change of environment. So if you don't live in your home country and move to your foreign land, you change your environment, right? So this house talks about that, whether you will be able to move to a foreign land or not. This house also talks about your expenses. Will that be good or bad expenses? Because the investments also is being seen from 12th house. If this house is combined with the good houses, then you make good investments. Like 2 and 12 means a good investments, right? 2 is your money, 12 is your investment. Whereas if 2, 8 and 12 means, that means a loss and the problem with the investments. We'll talk about it when we talk about how we combine those the houses together to get to know what results we will get. So this house also talks about your asylum and your jail. If you happen to be a worker in jail or in a place of asylum, this house talks about that. Okay, so these are the 12 major houses, very, very important houses, which we need to understand before we start reading the meaning of these houses, and we start interpreting the chart as what is about to come in my life and what is a roadmap given to me by the planets or the cosmic energies at the time and the place when I was born. So understand this, take a picture of it, snapshot, keep it in your mind, always continue to think about it, read about it so that it reinforces your learnings, and also keep this chart always in your back pocket because it will help you how to read somebody meticulously or very easily once you know the significance of these 12 houses. Okay, and in my next video I'll talk about the planets and the first step, how we start reading the planets in each houses, and that's very important. That's the step 1 where we will start reading the chart. We will start interpreting how the cosmic energies or the planets sitting on each house, what kind of result it shows or it indicates, or where your soul should be, where your mind should be, where your intellect should be, where your enjoyment should be, where your discipline should be, where your effort should be. Everything can be seen and read once we start putting in planets inside. So I encourage you to subscribe my videos so that you can watch my latest videos whenever I release them, and like my videos. This is how you create a virtual link with me, and I'm always here to help you, support you, and guide you. So until then, take care and have a good day.